tell the truth.
It's about telling the truth, everybody, and I'm glad to have you all here today as we get ready to get into more exciting news, more exciting information about CU, Coach Prime, and what's happening with Colorado. I'm very excited about the upcoming season, everybody. I just want to tell you right now, the additions that have been added to the football team, truly in my estimation, my thoughts, the way I'm looking at things is that it is an upgrade from last year when he brought in tons of players from the transfer portal in the 2023, but this is 2024 season. It's going to be in the Big 12. And I think there's been some upgrades. Once again, I've said this before, you lose players, you gain players. The transfer portal is designed to give players options, and some guys are exercising their options. However, they've been able to exercise their options because of the fact that the NCAA relaxed the rules this year, which allowed a lot of these young men to be able to jump to other schools. Prior to that, if you had transferred multiple times and you landed at your third school, you would not be able to transfer just so readily. But the NCAA changed that because there's lawsuits out there where young players have sued the NCAA. They're violating certain rights. And so with that said, we lost a running back in Amos who left. And just last week or just this past week, I talked about Isaiah Augustus. I want to say that name correct. I talked about Isaiah, and I'm going to put his, it's August Dave that I want to put up here. I talked about him recently, and let me put him up here right now. He's a part of the new vamped running game. We're talking about Isaiah out of Arkansas. I did a video on August Dave. I did a video on this young man, looking at what he brings to the table. He has a lot of long speed. He ran track in high school. So I think that Pat Shurmur is going to have a lot to work with the offense. And I want to talk about Pat Shurmur because I want to really break down what he's going to bring to the table with the running game. Let's go back. Let me just go back here. We've got Coach Gary, all right, who is not only is he the running backs coach, but he's also the assistant head coach of this football team, working alongside with Coach Prime. Okay, so you have a lot of experience, wealth of experience on this team, but Pat Shurmur brings NFL experience. Remember, Pat Shurmur coached Denver as he was their offensive coordinator at Denver for the Denver Broncos. He had most of his major success when he was the offensive coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings of the NFL. And then because of what he did with the Minnesota Vikings, he got a head coaching job for a short period of time with the New York Giants. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about what we could possibly expect when you just look at and study and examine how Pat Shurmur ran his offense when he was both with Denver and when he was coaching as the offensive coordinator successfully with the Minnesota Vikings. You see, coaches are creatures of habits. People are creatures of habits, and there's certain patterns that they stick to when they have a certain level of success. And Pat Shurmur has had a level of success, and I'm going to show you, not only talk to you about this, but give you some visuals to give you an idea of exactly what we may be expecting. I can tell you right now that the running game, because he said it himself that we have to emphasize the running game, I think, is going to be emphasized heavily, which will take a lot of pressure off of Shurmur Sanders. And it's just necessary, 100% necessary. So what I want to do is I also want to start with the fact that to have a great running game within the system that Pat Shurmur is going to run, you need the right offensive line. Now, last time I went live, I had an accident. My stream got shut off by accident. I hit a wrong button, and I was talking about the offensive lineman. Let me go over this one more time, just briefly. We have Jordan Seaton, right? He comes in anchoring the left tackle spot. So he anchors in the left tackle spot. Let's keep that in mind. Definitely to protect Shurmur's blind spot, right? And then after that, we have another young man who I'm very excited about, who can definitely help Shurmur's left guard spot, and it's Tyler Brown. Remember I said Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown is a young man who was not allowed to play last year when they could have dearly used him.
Tell the truth.
Last year to help that running game, to help mainly protect Shurmur. So you can have great running backs, but if you don't have offensive linemen that can block, can pass protect, can open up the holes, understand certain pass schemes. Because one of the things that you need to know about Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator, coming out of the NFL, is that what he often ran in the NFL with Minnesota, where he had the most success as an offensive coordinator, was zone blocking schemes. Zone blocking schemes that come out of the philosophy of a West Coast offense. Now, a lot of people look at West Coast offenses as offenses that are dink and dunk offenses, where you throw the ball for short yardage, you throw the ball over the middle, you dink and dunk, you throw the ball to the outside, you get the running backs involved in the game, catching the ball out of the backfield. You have receivers running slants, running slant routes, but short, routes, short routes, possession-type receiver routes. But what Pat Shurmur did with the West Coast offense that he ran with Minnesota is that he added a lot of flavor to it with the running game. This man ran and ran and ran and ran and ran the ball.
Tell the truth.
I'm going to tell you the data, everything. But to do that, you've got to run these type of schemes, you've got to have an offensive line that is ready to handle the pressure. They've got Hank, a young man that looks like he could be the possible starter. We'll have to see what happens in fall camp at the center position. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Let's look at right guard. And I think he's going to be a beast at right guard. We're talking about Justin Mayers. I think he's going to be a beast at the position. There he is right there protecting Shurmur in the spring game. Here he is right here looking like he's ready for town business, okay?
Tell the truth.
Then we have Khalid Benson, who looks like a potential at right tackle. That's 6'6", 305 pounds. Justin Mayers is 6'4", 203, 20 pounds. We got some weight on this line. Hank is coming in at 6'3", 285 pounds. And I got to go back to my man, Tyler Brown, who comes in at 6'3", 210 pounds. And he's got the beef. He's got the muscle. He's got the ability. That's going to help the running game when you bring in guys, young men like Hayden, Dallin Hayden, who comes in from Ohio State, transfers over. Very physical back. And I've done videos on all of these running backs that they've picked up to the transfer portal so far. You can look on this channel to watch those individual videos. So where I go into more detail about their stats, They're showing videos of what they did, whether it be high school or college. But right now is a summary because I'm going to get to the meat and sauce of the program today, which is the Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator. How I think that we cannot underestimate the fact that last year under Sean Lewis, there was confusion. Would you agree with me that there seemed to be more confusion with the offense, inconsistencies with the offense that we had to contend with, we had to deal with. But I think Hayden, with his experience, I mean, I believe he had some injury issues at Ohio, but I think when you look at the video on him, he's the real deal. I think he's a guy that can give him that inside, outside, the power inside, and then still have that speed to get to the outside. Of course, here's another picture of him right here. Very nice. So Coach Prime has upgraded the running back depth charts, most definitely. But then we have to think about a hell of a high school football player who's coming in as well under this depth chart, meaning Hayden could be potentially the starting running back and could the second running back in the rotation, because I think that what Pat Shurmur is going to do with the way he runs the ball, and I'm going to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, when I looked at some of the video at Minnesota in particular, at the NFL level, he likes to use two back sets where he'll disguise the offensive system where he brings in two backs. He likes to, I'm going to get into this in a separate video about the wide receiver position and how he's going to utilize that, but he does like to move his receivers around and try tricky, different formations to confuse the defense. He will bring in two running backs, have them line up and back, move them around to disguise and make it look like he's going to run the ball when now throwing the ball and leaving a man open. And then making you think he's about to throw the ball when they're about to really run the ball. So Pat Shurmur is going to bring a certain level of sophistication to the offense, I believe, when you look at his habits in the NFL, when you look at the teams that he coached in the NFL, Denver, particularly Minnesota Vikings, which he had so much success with them, it led to Pat Shurmur being picked up as a head coach with the New York Giants. So I see Micah Welch, everybody, the high school phenom. I see him as a potential, looks like he could be a potential second back in that depth chart. Now we have to see how things turn out in camp, because we have another young man I'm going to bring up it's going to be interesting how things are going to happen potentially when they get to fall camp. But right now, we know that Michael Welch has been showing what he can do since in spring right now. Now check him out right here. This is him in high school at Baldwin. And here is him at the 24/7 Sports. And you know, 24/7 Sports, they sort of follow these high school kids, these high school young men. They rank them. They figure out where they fit in the pecking order. Here is Michael Welch with the uniform on in practice, working hard, showing the coaches that he is a force to be reckoned with, that he deserves to get a starting position. He deserves to be highly involved in the rotation. And once again, as I said before, Pat Shurmur, if you just do the research on how he likes to run his offense, he likes to get many people involved in the offense. He wants many people touching the football. This is going to be great when you have a team like CU that has so many multitudes of guys who could have a breakout year. Now, again, how does this work for Isaiah Augustine? How does this work for Isaiah in terms of, could Isaiah come to camp because he showed flashes at Arkansas where he had a game, and I talked about this in that video I did about him where he had a game. And thank you, everybody that's watching. I appreciate you out there. Where he had a game where he was co-freshman of the week in the SEC. And somebody sent me a message, and I want to thank them with a clap right now. Someone left a comment, should I say, on that video that I did about that young man, and he said the reason why he didn't get as much playing time that he could, that he's a diamond in the rough, is that he was playing behind 3 other backs that were ahead of him on Arkansas's team. But when he got his chance against Missouri, he showed up and he showed out, which means we're getting a young man who has potential ability to do some great things. Now he has ability to hit the hole, long speed, physical back, something for Pat Shurmur to work with. So I'm curious to see how he'll play into the fold. But another man that I cannot forget, ladies and gentlemen, and here's another picture of Micah Welch when he went on his official visit to CU. There he is donning the uniform. And, of course, he's made his commitment so far to CU because he's been down there in spring practice doing his thing. But let's not forget one of the Hood brothers. And we're talking about Brandon Hood.
Tell the truth.
Another young man, I believe, coming out of high school, if I'm not mistaken, another young man who, along with his brother, is going to be a needed addition, a great addition. Once again, this kid runs with power. This kid has great skills. Once again, I did a video about both him and his brother. So look on this video in my catalog, and I go much more in detail about Brandon Hood as well as his brother. We call them the Hood brothers. Here he is. Looks like he wore number 6. And this is a young man who was heavily recruited. I think he took a visit to Penn State, where Penn State was trying to get him. A bunch of schools were trying to get these young men. And I go into detail on the individual videos that primarily focus on these young men. But here he is in the uniform. Brandon Hood in the uniform when he did his visit, and he looks great in that uniform. Looks like he's going to don number 26 unless they give him a number 6. Who knows how that's all going to work out, but he makes up this depth chart. So this depth chart is made up of let's go again. It's going to be made up of Hayden, who could be a potential starter. Then we have the young high school phenom, Micah Welch. And then we have to consider this young man right here, Isaiah, who's just transferred over from Arkansas again in the transfer portal. This young man right here got a award-winning smile. We have to take into account that we've got also Brandon Hood. This running back group is nobody can tell me that this running back group that we have, what's going on, Brunt's Flat Power, what's going on, Fox, what's going on, BPE. I appreciate you all being here. I really do. Coming over. I know it's Memorial holiday. And I hope you are enjoying your barbecue, enjoying your time with your family, whatever you're doing. And I thank you for taking the time to come over here and listen to the Prime Sports Media channel, by all means. So the depth chart on this team is a lot better than it was, I got to be honest, than it was a year ago. No shade to Dylan Edwards. He had his flashes in the TCU game. no shade to Alton McCaskill. We just didn't see enough of him in the game for whatever the reasons were. Coach Prime said he still was recovering from his ACL injury that he got when he was with Houston. I don't know. And then he decided that he was going to leave. But then let me not forget an inspirational player on the team, and that's Charlie, who also makes up the depth chart. And Charlie brings something to the table as well. Let me let you see some pictures of him in action. He's been, if I'm not mistaken, he's been at CU for quite some time. He's one of the players that hung around, stuck around, right? And here he is in some action here, right?
Tell the truth.
Here he is looking real tough on that running. Look at that. Looking real good right there.
Tell the truth.
And we all witness on the Well Off Media channel. Shout out to Well Off Media and Deion Sanders Jr. and all that they do over there to bring us top-notch coverage. When they were in the locker room, it was a very emotional moment. Charlie was there with his family as Coach Prime presented that he was the spring player of the year this year because although he's been injured, he still has been working his butt off and dedicating himself to the team. We got to give him a clap for that. So I just wanted to bring up those issues of the depth chart, the running backs room that we have at CU. I want you to let me know on this video when you get a chance to comment, ladies and gentlemen. Do you see?
Tell the truth.
That the running back room has been much improved. I think that it's much improved. I'm just curious to know what you think. So leave comments. Make sure you share this video in all your social media. I really appreciate that if you could do that. I want to say thank you all for watching. Don't go anywhere. I've got more presentation, more content for you always. Thank you for watching again. Appreciate everybody that's here, everyone that's rocking with the channel. Let me shout out to Big Dog. I want to shout out to Big Dog Chico. We've been talking to each other behind the scenes. I know I made an announcement that me and Big Dog Chico were supposed to be doing regular streams together on both our channels simultaneously together every Thursday. But life gets in the way. I've been talking to the brother. He's got family, he's got children. And so we haven't been able to do a live show yet due to family commitments. That's the only reason why we haven't gone live. Just want to let people know that we've been talking. Eventually, at some point in time, we're going to do a live together, and hopefully we can get something going get something going regular. I will be doing a stream at some point again with Dave Talk Buffs. And I will at some point, once I call the brother, because he told me this, at some point I will get life in football. We'll do something together as well. So just want to give that announcement and let people know, because I know I had said this before and you probably were wondering, hey, he said that they're going to be doing a collaboration, and we're waiting for that. So I just want to let you know what's going on, y'all. I just want to appreciate your patience.
Tell the truth.
Let's get into it right now. Let's listen to Coach Shurmur tell you what his expectations are compared to what it was last year when he was put into the position of offensive coordinator to now being the official. Listen to what he says here. Fair use, fair use.
Like now that you have a chance to put your system in place, what the difference in the offense might look like compared to last year?
Well, like I said, I think we need to protect the passer and run the ball much.
I wanted to stop right there. Protect the passer and run the ball. His offensive philosophy coming out of the NFL was a West Coast offense that blends in the play action, the offensive line running some zone blocking schemes. Okay, Pat Shurmur, he has roots in Philadelphia in the West Coast offense. It's an offense that often features plays that make it very difficult to play tight man coverage. So he's going to play, if they play a West Coast offense to negate man coverage in the Big 12, teams utilize, I'm going to read this to you. Teams utilize rub routes to free their players hitting across the field, often featuring plays that make it very difficult to play tight man coverage. This has been his philosophy since he was in Philadelphia, where he got introduced. I think he was in Philadelphia with Andy Reid, if I'm not mistaken, where he was influenced by that West Coast offense. And you know where that comes from. Bill Walsh of the San Francisco 49ers, my team, okay? He says that we have to get back to a running game.
About scheme transition and how you feel like now that you have a chance to put your system in place, what the difference in the offense might look like compared to last year.
Well, like I said, I think we need to protect the passer and run the ball much better than we did last year. And
Yes.
so you got to practice those things, you know. But we still have to utilize the strengths of a dynamic quarterback. and
Right.
throw the ball. So it's going to be fun, you know. Every
Facts.
place I've been, I've tried to
Tell the
spread the
truth.
ball around, you know, and make sure everybody was getting their touches, whether it be tight ends. Like last year, we really didn't even have tight ends.
All right. And he went on to say that that's why they have brought in various players so that he can have more versatility in the offense. He also said that in his offense, he wants to give everybody touches. That's what you do in a West Coast type offense, pro style offense, West Coast offense, is that you get everybody involved. That's why it's very difficult to cover a West Coast offense man to man, because the West Coast offense puts pressure on the defense because it forces you to have to cover everybody because you don't know where the ball's going, because everybody's getting their hands on that football, meaning you can, in the West Coast offense, you might be throwing the ball to the running back that comes out of the backfield like he's a receiver. Some teams don't use fullbacks. Guess what? In the West Coast offense, traditional, they do use fullbacks. You may have to worry about a fullback coming out of the backfield catching the ball. Worry about, like I said before, the receivers running slant routes, go routes, screen passes, play action. These are some of the things that he likes to do as a coach. We're talking about Pat Shurmur. Let me put this back up here again. Put him back up here again. Now, remember I said that play action is a forte of what he does. He loves to run rub routes. I mentioned that. But the play action is what he really loves, and that's what Coach Pat Shurmur loves to do, is play action passes. It was especially effective when he was with the Vikings in the NFL, giving them the highest percentage of running plays, giving them the highest percentage of running plays, meaning, y'all, we're going to get a running game this year. We're going to see something that we didn't see last year, which is a running game. But this is what's going to possibly make it work, is that you've got
Tell the truth.
better offensive linemen, which should open up a better offensive game for Shurmur's protection. It will, if you can get the running game going on this team with Shurmur's ability to throw the ball, it's going to surely cause problem. So you got guys like this, Eaton Boyd, who's coming over from Michigan, who's also transferred over, a big guy who can bring some fire. You've got guys like Philip Houston coming over from IFI. Where is he coming from over? This young man is coming over from FIU He's a transfer. Depth to the offense. Now you've got more depth added to the offensive line, to the offense with players. And then you got this young man, Zachariah, young man who's got lots more to learn to get better. But there he is right there. There is Ethan Boyd. There is Peyton right here. He was at Texas. He's coming over. This is Peyton Kirkland, who will be coming over. We've got Wyatt from Villanova, if I'm saying his name correctly, number 70. This young man is coming over from Villanova. These are some of the depths to the offensive line that's going to be needed to be able to protect Shurmur, open up this running game, run this sort of West Coast, whatever level of West Coast he's going to bring. Then you have someone like a Tyler Johnson from Houston who will add much needed depth to this offensive line. If someone goes down, someone gets hurt, they've got more depth. Coach Prime told us that was one of the things that they were missing last year, is they didn't have enough depth and they didn't have enough big boys. Okay? Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
And so if you're going to have young men like Hayden, Michael Welch, Isaiah, a Brandon Hood, a Charlie, if they're going to be effective for the team, then you need to have offensive linemen that can move people, that can block, who understand blocking schemes, because Pat Shurmur is probably going to implement that zone blocking scheme that he ran with the Minnesota Vikings. What made Shurmur successful? When it came to his running schemes at the pro level, let's go with his offensive stats, ladies and gentlemen. The running game under his command as the offensive coordinator with Minnesota at that time in the NFL, according to stats, the Vikings had the 5th highest running percentage in the league, running 47.5% of the time. On first and 10 play, on the first of their 10 plays, the Vikings ran 61% of the time, the highest percentage in the league at the time when Pat Shurmur was the offensive coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings.
Tell the truth.
I want to say peace to everybody in the chat room. We've got PG, HB, we got Big Dog in the house. Shirley, thank you for being here. We got Michael in the house. Fox is here. Appreciate you being here. I'm watching people who are here supporting the channel. I appreciate you supporting the channel always. We got Paid Bum in the house. I thank you for being here. Thank you. Give you all a clap. Do you really hear what I'm breaking down here, ladies and gentlemen? This is, as coaches, as humans, as people, we are creatures of habit. Whatever we've done in the past that works successfully, we are bound to continue that and then try to fix what doesn't work. This man, Pat Shurmur, ran zone blocking schemes. He creates an offense that's based on West Coast principles. He loves play action plays. That means in order for play action to work for CU this year, if that's what he wants to implement, you've got to run the ball. They ran the ball 61% of the time with Minnesota, one of the highest percentages in the league. Coach Prime made a good decision when he decided to make Pat Shurmur the offensive coordinator of this team. 61% of the time, the highest percentage in the lead at the time in the NFL, which ultimately led to him getting a head coaching job with the New York Giants. I'm going to say it again. Check this out. This is what you need to understand. that under Pat Shurmur, what they did. Under Pat Shurmur, the Vikings ran outside zones 22.5% of the time, which was their second most used concept. That's because of Pat Shurmur. So my thinking is he going to use those same concepts? Because they already said, Coach Prime has said it, that they're going to do their best to run sort of what we call a pro style offense, right?
Tell the truth.
Like most of the lead when Pat Shurmur was in the NFL, the Vikings ran inside zone as their predominant run scheme. Do you hear what I'm saying? Inside zone as their predominant inside scheme. They ran outside zone running plays 22.9% of the time, but their most predominant scheme that they ran was the outside running scheme as their predominant scheme that they ran. I want to see how he implements that with Hayden, running back Hayden. Let's go through the row again, ladies and gentlemen. And I appreciate everybody being here. This is Prime Sports Media, y'all. He's got the offensive line. We've got Justin Mayers coming in. Like I said, Justin Mayers is going to be coming in at the right guard. We've got Jordan Seaton coming in at left tackle. Not potentially. We know it. We got Tyler Brown coming in at left guard, provided nothing happens in the fall camp where someone gets hurt and then someone has to fill in off of that depth chart. We've got Hank at center potentially. I'm going to say it again. Khalid Benson at right tackle potentially. Okay? These are just the guys that are potentially going to start, and the other offensive linemen that I've named are going to fill in depth, meaning if someone gets hurt, you can move someone into one of those positions, because when you have an offensive line, you're going to have injuries. It's a long season, and you're going to have to be able to fill in. Now, check this out. Look at the connection here. This man right here, I talked about this in that other video where the video shut down on me, unfortunately. This gentleman right here, Coach Phil, is an offensive line coach. What's the connection? Well, he played.
Tell the truth.
He played with the Minnesota Vikings. He has NFL experience as an offensive lineman. I've said this before. And so if think about the connection. Pat Shurmur was an offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. And he was in Philadelphia originally, where he learned the West Coast offense. He got a job in Minnesota where he ran the offense using West Coast principles. This man right here was a professional offensive lineman in Minnesota Vikings. Coached just recently before coming to see you at Oklahoma, a vaunted program. And so with him having NFL experience and also experience as an offensive lineman himself, he is better to understand the principles and the scheme and what Pat Shurmur is trying to do with the running game this year. He will be conveying that if they want to run this inside zone and outside zone, and the play action can only be effective, we got to be honest, play action can only be effective for Deion Sanders if the head coach and the offensive linemen are on the same page and understand the schemes, because whatever Pat Shurmur wants to do, Coach Phil has to convey that to these offensive linemen that I just showed you earlier. They have to understand the scheme. They have to understand their assignment. They have to understand their responsibility. They have to understand what's expected of them. To keep this young man upright. They have to understand the principles of what they're trying to do out there on that offensive line, unlike what we did not see a year ago. I think this is very, 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 very important. Check this out. Another thing that I want everybody to realize about why Coach Prime did a damn good job picking this man to be the offensive coordinator is because under his schemes that he likes to run within this run block, this run zone type of scheme, this is what it is, folks. It's designed, it's the designs that he come up with is not the traditional stretch zone play. So when Pat Shurmur designs his plays and what he wants to get across to the players potentially based on his history in the NFL and bringing that NFL pro style offense to CU, is that he does not design the traditional stretch zone play, but instead more of an off tackle with the same zone principles. When he was with the Vikings ran the play action pass and they max protect with their 6 offensive linemen. What did I just say, ladies and gentlemen? Coach Pat Shurmur likes to run the ball off tackle, max protects by bringing in an extra off. Wasn't that the problem that we had last year with Sean Lewis when Shador was taking a beating out there, right? And we saw him like this often after a game. And we kept asking ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, where's the protection? I want to thank everybody that's in the chat room, everybody that's listening in the clouds. I really appreciate you. Thank you, PGH Big Dog. I appreciate you. Michael, thank you for being here. Everybody that's in that chat room, if I hadn't even called you out, I respect you. We got Morris Brown, you in the house. We got a lot of great people in the chat room that I appreciate you being here, okay? You're taking a time out of your busy schedule, your busy time with family, friends, whatever you're doing on this Memorial holiday, and you are spending a little time here with the channel. I thank you again, and I give you all a clap again. What this says to me, when you say that he has a philosophy of wanting to have more of an off-tackle zone principles in the running game, which he did with the Vikings, off of play action pass and max protection with there being a 6 offensive lineman. This is what we were asking for when Shador was looking like this last year. We were saying to ourselves, what is Sean Lewis doing? Why are they not putting an extra offensive lineman out there? What are they doing to change the coverages in their offensive line to protect Shador? We can't. And so here we have a coach in Pat Shurmur who understands these things because he was doing this in the NFL with the Minnesota Vikings. I just want y'all to understand who we have, what we got going on here, the power behind this. You know, I was going to play the video, but I think maybe for copyright purposes, maybe I should just play the audio. This was a show that was on, I think it was Sharp produced this. And these guys are talking about Pat Shurmur and what he did at Minnesota. And once again, I'm going to say this again and say it again. We are creatures of habit. Whatever he was doing that was successful as an offensive coordinator in his career, he's going to bring some of those principles to CU. He said in an interview that I played a clip of, or I played you just a clip of an interview that he did a few minutes ago. I played that when he was talking about wanting to run the ball more. He talked about how he's still getting used to the fact that the NFL field is the hash marks are not so wide and big in the NFL. And he's got to get used to the fact that in college football, you have bigger hash marks, a little bit wider field. You have more personnel that you can work with, whereas in NFL, you have 53-man roster, whereas in college, you can have a bigger roster, which you can interchange players in and out more often. But I want y'all to hear what they had to say about this man right here on a show. I would have liked to have played the video, but on that video, they were playing NFL. On the video, as they were talking about what Coach Pat Shurmur does, they were playing NFL video of his team executing, and I don't want to take a chance getting a big copyright playing that. But either way, listen to this, folks. This is good stuff.
And people think Pat Shurmur, his West Coast system, they ran the ball 47% of the time, which was fifth in the NFL. And if it's 1st and 10, they ran 61% of the time. So you know how he thinks it is very important to establish the run to get into what we'll get into next. So you see the tight end working across the grain, full zone scheme front side, all the offensive working, creates lanes not only on the front side, but also on the backside running the football. The other thing that I love that he likes to do is he'll run the football inside, and he'll do it right away out of a one tight end set. You're gonna see a TED block, tight end up, tackle around on the left side, and a simple run for a touchdown by Latavius Murray.
So now if you can run the ball effectively, it sets up a world of opportunity in play action.
And they did this 29% of the time in Case Keenum dropbacks, and in 29%, Case Keenum had a 111 QB rating.
Boom. I want to stop it right there because that's the key. You've got to run the ball a lot for the play action to be effective. You know that. I know that. And what they were saying is because they were running the ball effectively, and then because they were running it effectively, they added the play action to get the defense, particularly to get the linebackers to bite. Keenan Allen at that time, who was playing for the Minnesota Vikings, the quarterback, he had it improved his what do you call it? His passing rating. It improved everything. Think about it. If Shurmur was being sacked as much as he was last year because they became a one-dimensional team, y'all. Now Pat Shurmur takes over and make them not a one-dimensional team. Then teams have to pick their poison if they're going to blitz him, if they're able to do what? Run the ball with that collection of running backs, Hayden, Micah Welch, Brandon Hood, Isaiah out of Arkansas, Charlie. If they can get that running game to get teams off balance and then put the play action in there like you're going to run, and now you know what Shurmur can do when he airs it out because they've got some talented wideouts on this team. I want to put this up here. Because here are the wideouts right here. Take a look at that. They've got the talented wideouts that can make these schemes effective. And what Coach Pat Shurmur is able to do. Let's continue to listen to this audio.
Case Keenum dropbacks, and in 29%, Case Keenum had a 111 QB rating. But it's all based on being able to run the football and manipulate coverages and to get linebackers to eat up in the run game. We see an extra.
What did I just say? Get those linebackers. That go Michael Welch right there. Get those linebackers to bite on it, to eat up the space, and then it opens up everything. Imagine what this is going to do if they're able to run these schemes successfully with the offensive line that they've brought in to make improvements. I think the running back depth chart is much improved. It's like night and day from last season. What do you think, everybody? Make sure you leave messages. And here we go.
Coming in at the tight end, but he's not in line. You see him off of the ball, and what do they love to do out of this? They want to get all the New Orleans Saints. You see him communicating, looking towards the overload, thinking that it's going to be a run, but they set you up with it. You see the linebackers not being able to play the pass. You see Case Keenum working through the pocket and gets Adam Thielen on the comeback. Just that half a step that you get by the defense and the linebackers committed to the run is what opens up things in the back and in the pass. And look what they do off of play action. Pat Shurmur runs again. You get an extra tight end in there. You start running in, so 2 tight ends, 2 backs, a 22 set. This is a run formation. You see the defense loaded down in the box, ready for it. But what do? They lose focus. Look at Jerick McKinnon wide open over here on the
22 set. Did you hear what they said? So he ran a 22 set where you have 2 tight ends. You put extra tight ends in there. Looks like Pat Shurmur loves to use tight end. And he said in that video that I played with him at the press conference that he recognized that last year they really didn't have a true tight end. Harrison, he said, was really more of a receiver playing tight end. But he said that we were really down a lot of personnel that we could utilize. And I want to talk about this because we've got some young players coming in June, big time recruits, guys that have committed to the program and guys that are coming to visit, and I think are going to make the difference. Now, Pat Shurmur did not have a tight end last year. That still remains a position that is a position of need and weakness, but we've got a young man that's probably coming in who's committed. If I'm not mistaken, this young man is Corbin. Corbin has committed. Corbin, my God. Look. This kid, Corbin, is a 6'5", 225-pound tight end. He was a top A recruit. You had schools like Louisville was trying to get him. Ole Miss was trying to get him. Arizona State trying to get him, but CU was one of his choices, and he's decided that he's made his commitment to CU. He's a 3-star tight end. But look at his size, 6'5", 225-pound tight end from Tennessee who made a commitment to CU just late April. Just this past April, he made a decision. And let's see him right here, donning the uniform right here, y'all. Pat Shurmur, we have to understand what Pat Shurmur does. I want to thank everybody that's watching, that's supporting this channel. I really, really appreciate you all out there. Thank you again so much for still rocking with me. I do my best to bring you great. I think I try to do my best to give you a great live stream experience over here. I don't know. What do you think about that, huh? What do you think?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. So Pat Shurmur loves to do these what they call 22 type scheme sets where he brings in the extra tight ends. That's what they do. That's what you do in the West Coast offense. If you ever looked at the Philadelphia Eagles when they were run under Andy Reid, if you ever followed the 49ers and what they were doing when they were under Bill Walsh, and even when you look at Andy Reid with the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, and you see what Kelsey is doing, the West Coast offense utilizes the tight end position better than any type of offense. It's an offense where you're going to use everybody, the fullbacks if you got them. I think the 49ers are one of the only few teams in the NFL that actually still uses the fullback in their system. You got the fullback. You're getting into the tight ends. You're using 2 tight ends. You're moving tight ends around. You're bringing in to block. You're moving receivers around in different formations. I don't want to give away the bag because I want to do a video focusing on receivers and what Pat Shurmur really likes to do with the receiving core under his offense. So I'm saying this to say that there's some exciting things. The reason why I think CU had problems last year, because I don't think I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Hopefully Sean Lewis will be successful at San Diego State, but I just don't think they had the right offensive linemen running the right type of schemes. They didn't have the best of offensive linemen, and they didn't have an offensive coordinator, should I correct what I said earlier, who I think really ran the right type of plays, the right type of schemes, and made the right adjustments to protect Shurmur. Even though we know the offensive line had problems, obviously, because he became the most sacked quarterback in college football a year ago, and we don't want that to happen again. But I think that Pat Shurmur will bring a different level of adversity to the what we call versatility. He'll be more versatile. Let me just say that. More versatile in the way he utilizes players, because he said he's going to use everybody and get them all in the mix. Let you hear this. For those of you who came in a little bit late, this is what Shurmur said at a press conference. This might have been maybe a few months ago.
About scheme transition and how you feel like now that you have
Scheme transition.
your system in place, what the difference in the offense might look like compared to last year.
Well, like I said, I think we need to protect the passer and run the ball much better than we did last year. So you got to practice those things.
Right.
But we still have to utilize the strengths of a dynamic quarterback and throw the ball. So it's going to be fun, you know. Every place I've been, I've tried to spread the ball around, you know, and make sure everybody was getting their touches, whether it be tight end.
You hear that? He said tight end at the end. Everybody getting their touches. This is what Pat's going to bring to the table. So I'm looking forward to what the offense is going to bring to the table. Now, let me say this, make this announcement before I end the stream today. I'm going to probably look at your statements in the chat room and bring your statements up and do my best to have a dialogue with you before I end the stream today. But I got to bring up something. I talked about the young man Corbin, the tight end out of Tennessee, who's coming in 6'5", 225 pounds. He's the real deal. These young men are going to be doing a visit. Let me break something down to you. It's been put out there that the class of 2025 for Colorado commitments, those that have committed to Colorado and those that have not yet, they're going to be doing a big visit in June. So next month, between June 21st and 23, you're going to have guys like Mantrez, Walker, who's already made a commitment to the team. I did a video on him. You can see that individual video on this channel where I go into more details about that young man, but he's made a commitment. He's making a visit. Walker, linebacker, Walker. Now, this linebacker, man, this young man is the real deal. I think he's a 4-star linebacker. We're talking about Mantrez Walker. If I'm saying that name correct, we got a young man Walker you see on the screen right here. Here he is. Here's young Walker, linebacker, visiting Coach Prime. I don't know if that might be his father with him or what have you. I'm just glad that we got him. I think that's probably his father right there, visiting Coach Prime. He's a much-needed linebacker. He's the real deal, four-star recruit, highly recruited. Looks like he's going to join Walker, Corbin, who you see right here. Corbin, who's already committed, and Walker has already made his verbal commitment. But of course, we need these young men to sign their letters of intent, so that you know everything is legally taken care of there, that they're going to be on the team or they're coming to see you. But Walker, this man, Mantrez Walker, is coming to see you. And then we've got this young man who's also made his commitment to see you. That is, once again, Corbin. These two guys are coming They're coming to see you, and they're gonna join the 5-star quarterback, Julian Lewis. Woo! If we can get this young man,
True.
this guy is a 5-rank. He is a 5-star, bona fide 5-star ranked quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I know Dave's Talk Buffs was talking about him today and showing some video, high school video on him. And if we get this young man, you best to believe I'll be doing an exclusive video about this young man. But this young man is going to be coming in June 21st, along with Walker, the linebacker that we already has given us a commitment. The young man, Corbin, the tight end, is coming, along with Julian Lewis, who's going to pay a visit. And here he is right here. This kid is the real deal. I think a lot of schools want to get their hands on this young man right here. So they're going to be joining Julian Lewis this upcoming. They're going to be having a visit to Boulder June 21st through June 23rd, this next month coming up. This is the 2025 recruitment class that's coming to visit Boulder. 2 guys that have already committed. 1 guy that we're going to have to try to do what we can to sway him, and that is the man that everybody wants right now, and that's Julian Lewis.
Tell the truth.
Let me not forget somebody else that's coming through, as if we don't need more offensive linemen. We've got 4-star. Now, Julian is a 5-star quarterback, but now we got a 4-star offensive lineman. I think this young man is a guard.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
This young man right here is Chauncey Gooden. He's visiting Boulder around the same time on June 21st and 23rd. This young man is, I've had a chance to look at some stuff on him. He's a real deal as well, 4-star, and he's touted to be sort of like a guard, could play the guard position. Here's another picture of him right here. And this is a young man that could walk away as a commit for Coach Prime and CU. Let's go back down here and show you the other one right there of him. Big, strong. I want to read this that was put out in a news report. This was put out in a news report. So I'm hoping that they get this young man you see on the screen. This was put out in a news report. It says this: because commitments don't exactly carry much weight these days, Colorado and the staff and Coach Prime have a challenge. That challenge is to keep the players that have committed engaged, to keep players like Walker, the linebacker, Corbin, the tight end, in this 2025 recruitment class, to keep them engaged and excited about their future in Boulder. Those 2 commitments could also play a key role, ladies and gentlemen, in swaying someone like Julian Lewis, all right, Julian Lewis, to possibly make a commitment to CU. Seeing that Shurmur is going to be leaving, this is why this would be such a beautiful, such an incredible situation, because we know that Shurmur will be leaving after this year to the NFL, and it would be great to get someone like Julian into the fold who could really just step right on in and take off where the team leaves off after Shurmur is gone. So those guys could possibly sway Julian Lewis and Goodwin's, the offensive lineman's, there he is right there. The offensive lineman's commitment. Now, this is the schools that are looking at this kid. This kid's the real deal. He's got Missouri. He's got Oregon. He's got Auburn. He's got CU, of course, Colorado. Oklahoma's looking at him. Georgia's looking at him. Clemson's looking at him, right? Missouri's looking at him. South Carolina's looking at him, and Tennessee.
Tell the truth.
So we got to put our best foot forward. Now, from what I understand, continuing on here, ladies and gentlemen, like we said, Walker's a commitment. He's the linebacker out of Georgia, right? Here with his family. And then we have Corbin. These are commitments. I'm going to reinforce that again. But also, there's also a 3-star cornerback, and I have to look more into him, Alex Graham, who's a 3-star cornerback who's also committed to CU as well.
Tell the truth.
So these are very important points that I wanted to bring out, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for watching the show today. Let me go into the chat room and let's chat it up a little bit. After I've done this presentation, I'd like to know, what are your thoughts about what I presented to you? What are your thoughts about these players that are coming in to visit, the guys that we definitely want to sway like a Julian Lewis? I want to know what your thoughts about my presentation as it relates to Coach Pat, offensive coordinator. Let me know what you think about what I said about the fact that he is a creature. Everybody's a creature of habit. If he was running those type of schemes and that was the philosophy that he runs at the NFL level, and Coach Prime told you that they want to run a pro-type offense, then why would Pat Shurmur change his philosophy and not be the creature of habit in the way he's going to want to run that offense with the play calling? Think about it. So I just want you to look at everything I presented tonight. The fact that I talked about the running backs on the depth charts, the Haydens, the Michael Welch, the Isaiah, Augustave, the Charlie, who's a part of it. We got Brandon Hood, one of the Hood brothers. Let's not forget about him, right? There's Isaiah right there from Arkansas. There's Micah Welch right there. There's Brandon Hood running in high school. Here he is with the uniform on. Here is my man Hayden, who's coming over from Ohio State. Let's talk about it for a little while before I end the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pull up your thoughts, and let's go right here. And he's mentally with laughing, and he's mental with this laughing and oh, stop it. I'm not gonna listen to the nonsense. I'm not even gonna, you know what? I'm not gonna even waste my time pulling up the troll stuff. Don't tread on me. Let the trolls troll. Yeah, let them troll. I'm not even gonna make comments on anything that they're saying in the chat room. We're gonna focus on the football comments. Scott says this, yeah, Julian Lewis still committed to USC. Yeah, I know. I understand that he's still committed to USC because he made that commitment a long time ago. But this, players change their mind, right? We thought we had Amos, and then he decided to flip and go to Mississippi State. So we know that players make commitments early to schools early on, and then they could change those commitments. They could change. Look, these players could change that commitment on signing day. For the 2025 class, signing day for them will be in February, early February. So anything could change from now to then. What's going on, Patricia? I appreciate you being here, sister. Patricia, what's going on, sister? Patricia, good to see you. Good to see you. Let me see. DS says ranch beater too. He says, I apologize to the channel, just having fun talking college football. Look, I don't have no problem with people talking college football. I have said time and time again, let's just stick to football talk. And I have been critical of the football team. I've said up here, and I admittedly have said several times, the running game was not effective last year. The offensive line was not effective last year. Shador was taking too many hits. There was a lot of things about last year that just didn't work well in the long run. And I think that they've made improvements. See, if I'm going to make constructive criticism based on football stuff, not just personal shots. So I don't have a problem with people having a difference of opinion. I just don't like the personal shots that are not necessary to throw out there. So anyway, you came to listen. Well, I appreciate you listening. Thank you. Now we got Hayward Reed, who says he got the fist pumps up there. I like that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, sister. And I'm going to see. Don't tread on me. Let me see who else we have in here. Hayward. And let me see what DS Ranch Beater says. I have the right to my own opinions. Don't mean I'm trolling. No. I'm going to say this again. I think that everybody has the right to their own opinions. And I'm not saying that you don't have a right to your own opinions. I'm just going to say, and I'm saying it over and over again, it's just that I try to keep the personal, stuff that's not football related. That's all I'm saying. I don't have a problem with people having a difference of opinion because, hey, as football and sports fans, we're critical of our teams that we follow. I'm a 49er fan. I'm very critical of the Niners, and I'll say, hey, I didn't like this. I didn't like that. Hey, that's football. That's sports. Let me see. Scott says all the new offensive linemen won't have any chemistry. Well, that's why you have spring practice. That's why you have conditioning. That's why you have the fall camp, so that you can get everybody on the same page. And out of all the positions on a football team, tell me if I'm wrong or right. And this has been proven. Of all the positions on a football team, that's the most difficult to gel together the quickest. It's the offensive line. That is very, very true.
Tell the truth.
And I'm the first to admit that that's true. The offensive line takes a while to gel. Thank you, Shirley. Yeah, respect the channel. But thank you, everybody. Make sure you share this video on all your social media. Give it a like. I appreciate everybody that's over here, that's come over. But of all the positions on a football team, the offensive line is always the hardest to gel. It takes a long time to get it together, and that's just the process. It's a very difficult position. You're asking guys to take on different blocking schemes, different blocking responsibilities, being able to read what the defensive line is doing, being able to pick up on the linebackers shooting the gaps, blitz coverages. I mean, it's a lot that an offensive lineman has to learn when you're going into a new scheme. And so that's a very fair, statement. Let me see who else we got here. We got Morris Brown. What's going on? What's going on there?
Tell the truth.
And let me see here. All right. Anyway, thank you for coming in. Thank you for doing a good job. Patricia, you're doing a great job in there. We got my man Ed coming in strong saying traditionally, yes, but we're not dealing with traditional. This is primetime football. Right.
Tell the truth.
Right. And you know what, Ed, I don't know how much of the show you caught so far, brother, but I said it not too long ago in this video, play it back when you get a chance, that I read it, that Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator, he doesn't run. Now he uses a West Coast philosophy, but the way he likes to do the zone blocking with his offensive line, he doesn't go about it the traditional way. He likes to run a lot of inside zone blocking schemes, some outside. He definitely loves to utilize tight ends and bring them in multiple formations. I think there's going to be a lot of things exciting to see about what they're going to do with this team this year. I think the fact that if the schematics are better, the offensive play calls are better, if the players understand their assignments, if the offensive line is going to be much better than last year and they can keep Shurmur upright, if they can get a running game generated much better, because Coach Pat Shurmur, he likes to run the ball and run it a lot. He ran it a lot at Minnesota. That's what he was known for, running, because he wants to run the play action off of the run. And you've got to run the ball for play action to work. So if all these things come together, they could be a much more exciting team to watch than even last year. And they have great potential, even more so than last year, to be more successful at winning more games. Because the Achilles heel of this football team was the offensive line, and the offensive line is the heartbeat of a football team. You know it. I know it. All of you guys know that. And we cannot deny, the haters out there are going to try to hate, but the facts of the matter is that the offensive line has been upgraded compared to what they had last year. The running back room, I believe, has been upgraded. I believe the receiving core, with a year under their belt and some added additions like Omarion Miller now coming into his own this year, I think the receiving core will be much improved. The defensive line, which I'm going to go over the defensive line in a couple maybe weeks or two, or maybe next week or this week. The defensive line has more size and is much improved than last year's defensive line. They've got some linebackers like that can play, that are going to bring a little bit more to the table than the linebackers that they had last year. They still got Trevor Woods, but they've got some guys that they've added. Trevor Woods is really a safety converted to linebacker. But they've got some guys, so they've got more depth on this team than they had a year ago. That cannot be denied. Let's say what my man's saying here. Upgraded tremendously. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ed Houston. Thank you, brother. Thank you for that statement. And let's go over here. We believe. Big Y says we believe. Thank you.
Tell the truth.
Let me see. Lost Dragon says, I agree with Big Watt. Okay, let me see. Big Lock says he believes. And Patricia, sister, says, set back and observe, I believe. That's right. That's right. That's right. Tell the truth. Thank you. And wow. So, folks, what I'm going to do is that's probably going to be it for me today. It's Memorial Day. I know you're enjoying time with your family, the barbecue, the food, all the good stuff, potato salad. Enjoy everything that you're eating, whatever. You're watching a movie today, relaxing, whatever. I want you to enjoy your time. Let me go and look at one more point right here. Scott says this, the depth will definitely be very, yeah, because let me just say this again. How many of you, by putting sevens in the chat room right now, how many of you remember that Coach Prime said either in a press conference, I believe a press conference, that somewhere he said this, where he said that we don't have enough depth on the team and that we need to get the bigger boys in here, the bigger bodies, the bigger players. He told you on ESPN, remember when all the hype was out there, he said, hey, we're about 8 or 9 or 7 players away from really making something happen. Them getting Jordan Seaton, let me put him up here again. Getting Jordan Seaton at the left tackle position, which is the most important position on the offensive line to protect your quarterback's blind side, in this case, Shurmur. And Jordan Seaton was the #1 offensive lineman in the country when he was recruited. There's some that say that he's going to be an NFL prospect, that he's NFL ready, potentially because he has the size, the balance. He knows the schemes very well. Jordan Seaton is a top-notch recruit. This is a 5-star man right here. Would make you think that getting someone like him and then bringing in the people that they've brought in that also have college football experience already would make you think that's not going to pay big dividends. I know the last time I went live, I talked about a study at Oregon University about the transfer portal versus recruiting kids out of high school versus transfer portal. I didn't get a chance to go deep into that. I'm going to do a separate video. I know I've been saying this. I'm going to do a separate video, a short separate video focusing on just that. It will be an uploaded video. And because I'm talking about the offensive line and the moves that they've made will translate to improvement of the football team, particularly offensively, because the offensive line is the heartbeat of a football team. And that is where in the trenches they kept losing games. And Shurmur kept enduring this situation right here.
Tell the truth.
You'll see. Let's go back into the chat room, see what we got here before I get ready to end today's stream. And we got my man Ed in Houston says, can you smell what Coach Prime is cooking? Let me see. I can smell it. Barbecue football, baby. I can smell it.
Tell the truth.
We got DS who says, oh my God, happy Memorial Day to the veterans. Yeah, it's Memorial Day. Thank you everybody for the 7s in the chat room. We got Russell who's come in the house. And Russell says, these guys know what they're signing up for. They all committed to play football. Once they get there, they all know what's up. It's to win championship. Right.
Tell the truth.
Thank you for those 7s. We got, let me see, Davis is in the house. Davis says, well, good Amsterdam in that house. What's going on? Welcome here. And let's go back to my man. Oh, we got my man, PGH Big Dog is in the house. Thank you. And Patricia says, and Coach Prime has done all of that. Facts. Everybody, I thank you. Hate to get out of here, but I think it's that time. I've been on long enough. I've given you all the information I've had to provide for today's show. Be on the lookout for me to come back live, maybe hopefully this week. Be on the lookout for me to possibly go live with Big Dog Chico, hopefully on Thursday or whenever he's available and I'm available. Me and him still have to work some things out, but be on the lookout. That's coming very soon. And I'm going to keep my ears to what's happening out there, because if we pick up a new player or something big happens, I'm going to go live and talk about it, or maybe an uploaded video. Who knows? But we're going to do what it is that we have to do. So with that said, everybody, take care. Peace and love. Take care. Peace. All right now. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Marconi.
Tell the truth.
Peace. I want to thank all the mods. Everybody in the chat room that's a mod on this channel, for your support and for you definitely coming through and saying we don't want any nonsense over here. I appreciate you. You guys are definitely respected, and you are a vital part of the channel. And when I go live and you are here supporting and making sure everything is chill. Now we know that we're gonna have trolls, we're gonna have haters, but you know what they're doing? They're giving the channel a like, they're giving the channel a view, but we know this happens all over the YouTube streets with people who do this type of content like myself, where you get people, the skeptics that come in and what have you. But like I said, if CU has a successful season and they win and things are happening, a lot of these people, you won't see them in the chat room saying anything. They only want to come around when there's something negative to talk about. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want more videos like this. Take care, everybody.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.